drizzling up by the moon. Posing our questions to loud and clear as my days disappear all too soon. But I wander much farther today than I should, and I can't seem to find my way back to the wood. So help me if you can. I've got to get back to the house at the corner by one. You'd be surprised, there's so much to be done. Count all the bees in the hive, chase all the clouds from the sky, chase those clouds away. Back to the days of Christopher Robin, back to the ways of Christopher Robin, back to the ways of Pooh.
Pooh invents a new game, and Eeyore joins in. One day, when Pooh was walking towards the bridge, he was trying to make up a piece of poetry about fir cones, because there they were lying about on each side of him, and he felt singing. So he picked a fir cone up and looked at it and said to himself,
"Well, this is a very good fir cone. Something ought to rhyme with it."
but he couldn't think of anything. And then this came into his head.
"Oh, here's a little mystery about a little fir tree. Owl says it's his tree, but Kanga says it's her tree." Which doesn't make very much sense at all, because Kanga doesn't live in a tree.
He had just come to the bridge, and not looking where he was going, had tripped over something, and the fir cone jerked out of his paw into the river.
"Bother,"
said Pooh, as it floated slowly under the bridge, and he went back to get another fir cone. But then he thought that he would just look at the river instead, because it was a peaceful sort of day. So he lay down and looked at it, and it slipped slowly away beneath him. And suddenly, there was his fir cone slipping away too.
Well, that's funny. I dropped it on the other side of the bridge, but it came out on this side. I wonder if it would do it again.
And he went back to get some more fir cones. It did. It kept on doing it. Then he dropped two in at once and leant over the bridge to see which one of them would come out first, and one of them did. And that was the beginning of the game called Pooh Sticks, which Pooh invented, and which he and his friends used to play on the edge of the forest. But they played with sticks instead of fir cones, because they were easier to mark. Now one day, Pooh and Piglet and Rabbit and Roo were all playing Pooh Sticks together. They had dropped their sticks in when Rabbit said, "Go!" And then they had hurried over to the other side of the bridge, and now they were all leaning over the edge, waiting to see whose stick would come out first. But it was a long time coming, because the river was very lazy that day.
I can see mine! No, I can't. It's something else. Can you see yours, Piglet? I thought I could see mine, but I couldn't. Can you see yours, Pooh?
No!
Oh, I expect my stick stuck. Rabbit, my stick stuck. Is your stick stuck, Pooh?
It always takes longer than you think.
Oh, but how long do you think they'll take?
I can see yours, Piglet!
Mine's a sort of grayish one.
Yes, that's what I see. Oh, it's coming over to my side.
Rabbit leant over further than ever, looking for his, and Roo wriggled up and down, calling,
Come on, stick! Stick!
And Piglet got very excited, because his was the only one that had been seen, and that meant that he was winning.
It's coming!
Are you sure it's mine?
Yes, because it's gray. A big gray one. Now here it comes. A very big gray one. Oh no, it's Eeyore. Eeyore!
And out floated Eeyore.
Eeyore?
Looking very calm, very dignified. tide, with his legs in the air, came Eeyore from beneath the bridge.
It's Eeyore!
Is that so? I wondered.
I didn't know you were playing.
I'm not.
Eeyore, what are you doing there?
I'll give you 3 guesses, Rabbit. Digging holes in the ground? Wrong. Leaping from branch to branch of a young oak tree? Wrong. Waiting for somebody to help me out of the river? Right. Give Rabbit time and he'll always get the answer.
But Eeyore, what can we, I mean, how shall we, do you think if we...
Yes, one of those would be just the thing. Thank you, Pooh.
He's going round and round.
And why not?
I can swim too.
Not round and round. It's much more difficult. I didn't want to come swimming at all today, but if when in, I decide to practice a slight circular movement from right to left, or perhaps I should say from left to right, just as it happens.
Excuse me. I don't mean to interrupt your speech, but we do have more of the story to go, so could you speed it up just a little bit? Thank you.
Just as it happens to occur to me, it is nobody's business but my own.
There was a moment's silence, and everybody thought about how to get Eeyore out. And then Pooh said,
I've got a sort of an idea, but I don't suppose it's a very good one.
I don't suppose it is either.
go on, Pooh, let's have it.
Well, if we threw stones and things into the river on one side of Eeyore, stones would make waves, and the waves would push Eeyore to the other side.
That's a very good idea. And Pooh looked happy again.
Very. When I want to be washed, Pooh, I'll let you know.
Supposing we hit him by mistake.
Or supposing you missed him by mistake. Think of all the possibilities, Piglet, before you settle down to enjoy yourselves.
But Pooh had got the biggest stone he could carry and was leaning over the bridge, holding it in his paws.
I'm not throwing it, I'm dropping it, Eeyore. Then I can't miss. That is, I can't hit you. Could you stop turning around for a moment because it muddles me rather?
No, I like turning around.
Rabbit began to feel it was time he took command.
Now, Pooh, when I say now, you drop the stone. Eeyore, when I say now, Pooh's going to drop the stone.
Thank you very much, Rabbit, but I expect I shall know.
Are you ready, Pooh? Give him a little bit more room. Hey, let's stand back, Pooh. Are you ready?
No!
Now!
Pooh dropped his stone. There was a loud splash, and Eeyore disappeared. It was an anxious moment for the watchers on the bridge. They looked, and even the sight of Piglet's stick coming out a little in front of Rabbit's didn't seem to cheer them up as much as you might have expected. Just then, something gray showed for just a moment by the riverbank, and it got bigger and bigger, and at last it was Eeyore coming out. They rushed off the bridge and pushed and pulled at him, and soon he was standing among them again on dry land.
Oh, Eeyore, you are wet.
Eeyore shook himself off.
Will somebody explain to Piglet what happens when you have been inside a river for quite a long time?
Well done, Pooh. That was a good idea of ours.
What was?
Whooshing you to the bank like that.
Whooshing me? Whooshing me? You didn't think I was whooshed, did you? I dived. Pooh dropped a large stone on me, and so as not to be struck heavily on the chest, I dived and swam to the bank.
You didn't really, Pooh.
I didn't think I did.
It's just, Eeyore, I thought your idea was a very good idea.
Pooh began to feel a little more comfortable. And anyhow, Eeyore was in the river, and now he wasn't, so he hadn't done any harm.
How did you fall in, Eeyore?
I didn't.
But how did you...
I was bounced.
Ooh, did somebody push you?
Somebody bounced me. I was just thinking by the side of the river, thinking if any of you know what that means, when I received a loud bounce.
Oh,
Eeyore! Are you sure you didn't slip?
Well, of course I slipped. If you're standing on the slippery bank of a river and somebody bounces you loudly from behind, you slip. What did you think I did?
But who did it?
Eeyore didn't answer.
No, I expect it was Tigger.
But Eeyore, was it a joke or an accident? I mean, you don't just slip into a...
I didn't stop to ask, Pooh. Even at the very bottom of the river, I didn't stop to say to myself, is this a hearty joke, or is it the merest accident? I just floated to the surface and said to myself, it's wet, if you know what I mean.
Where was Tigger? Before Eeyore could answer, there was a loud noise, and through the hedge came Tigger himself. Rabbit became very important.
Tigger, what happened just now? Just when? When you bounced Eeyore into the river. I didn't bounce him.
You bounced me.
I didn't really. I had a sneeze, and I happened to be behind Eeyore, and I said,
Oh, it's all right, Piglin.
It took me by surprise.
That's what I call bouncing. Taking people by surprise. Very unpleasant habit. I don't mind Tigger being in the forest because it's a large forest and there's plenty of room to bounce in it. But I don't see why he should come into my little corner of it and bounce there. It isn't as if there was anything
Excuse me. Eeyore, could you wrap it up?
wonderful about my little corner. Of course, for people who like cold, wet, ugly bits, it is something rather special. But otherwise, it's just a corner. And if anybody feels bouncy,
I didn't bounce! I sneezed!
bouncy or sneezy, it's all the same at the bottom of the river.
Well, all I can say is, well, here's Christopher Robin. He can say it.
Christopher Robin came down from the forest to the bridge, feeling all sunny and careless. And he thought that if he stood on the bottom rail of the bridge and leant over and watched the river slipping slowly away beneath him, then he would suddenly know everything there was to be known, and he would be able to tell Pooh, who wasn't quite sure about some of it. But when he got to the bridge and saw all the animals there, then he knew that it wasn't that kind of an afternoon, but the other kind, when he wanted to do something. It's like this, Christopher Robin. Tigger
No, I didn't.
Well, anyhow, there I was.
But I don't think he meant to.
He just is bouncy, and he can't help it.
Try bouncing me, Tigger. Tigger's going to try me. Piglet, do you think?
Yes, we don't need to all speak at once. The point is, what does Christopher Robin think? All I did was I sneezed.
You bounced.
Well, I sort of got hush. What does Christopher Robin think? That is the point. Well, I think, yes, I think we all like to play Pooh Sticks. Yay!
So they did, and had never played it before, won more times than anybody else.
Eeyore!
Same song. You know it. Please sing along. Winnie the Pooh doesn't know what to do. Got a honey jar stuck on his nose. And he came to me asking help and advice. From here no one knows where he goes. So I sent him to ask of the owl if he's there. How to loosen the jar from the nose of a bear. So help me if you can. I got